we have different kinds of manure. We have scrape manure, which we call lot manure. We have bedding pack manure, and then we have the manure that's in the lagoon. So we test all of them because all of them vary a little in their content of what's there, so that way we know what fields to go with what on, and it's a very valuable, important part of the operation.
This is the Fertilizer Institute's 4R Field Report, on-farm nutrient stewardship information about how the right source, right time, right rate, and right place interact with issues facing everyone. George Brand and crop advisor Terry Bechman are 2014 4R Nutrient Stewardship Advocate Award winners. The Northeastern Indiana team worked closely in conducting a detailed crop nutrient plan that includes both commercial fertilizer and the fertilizer made by a 600-head dairy cow herd. They work in an area that is sensitive to nutrient runoff into Lake Erie, and their stories involve activism for educating everyone about agriculture's role in keeping a clean environment.
We are part of the St. Joe River watershed. In almost the majority of our trade area that we cover is in that watershed. Just a little bit is not, but most of it is. That watershed drains into the St. Joe River, which goes to Fort Wayne and hooks up with the Maumee River, which obviously dumps into Lake Erie at Maumee, Toledo. And they have had serious algae problems over the last few years, and blaming a lot of it on phosphorus, and not blaming ag totally for it, but ag is a big part of it. We have, for the last several years, we've talked about the 4Rs, tried to highlight that, why we're doing it, what the problem is. We have had a couple people from the Lake Erie area that are familiar with the problem come out, show pictures, talk about it.
The 4Rs play a critical role for George in his total nutrient application plan.
You soil test, so you know what's the field called for, what you need, so you don't you don't want to over fertilize, because that just wastes fertilizer. Plus, then you're more likely to have runoff and that kind of thing. So the rate is very important, and the source, it's our source is the manure, it's the different sources, but they're a little different because, like I said, we got 3 different kinds of manure, so that varies a little bit. So the source, we have to know which source, which manure is going where, so that we got to keep that in mind as far as the source goes. And then the placement, that's why we do the test too, because a lot of times we'll hit the higher ground and stuff, and the lower ground, a lot of more organic soils and stuff doesn't call for near as much of that. So that's why we can watch that a little bit. And then the timing of it, a lot of that, you don't want to put on like barnyard manure if you got a big rain coming or something like that. You got to be thinking about what the weather forecast is and what's on your field now and things like that to know if we got a lot of stubble there or whatever, so it'll hold the manure in place. It doesn't do anyone any good if it washes off. No one wants that, and that way the manure can sit there. The longer it can sit there and just mellow out and dissolve into the ground, it works good. Better for everyone that way.
The recent algae blooms in Lake Erie continue to puzzle experts seeking remedies to this highly visible issue, and the 4Rs play a role in these efforts.
We may be part of that problem, and we need to do everything right we can. Yeah, maybe we don't have all the answers, but the things we do know that we can help, we need to make sure that we do.
We have open ditches through the farm. We've got filter strips on all of them, and we're super careful about that, and especially with our manure and everything. That's why we always take special care to apply that at the right time, rate, place, and everything like we're talking about, because we don't want to add to that problem. And we got an open ditch, and when we're putting manure on, we're watching it all the time. We're watching the inlet tiles and down the way and everywhere to make sure nothing's getting in there. As long as you watch and try to do what's right, you'll be all right. You can handle manure.
For more information about the 4R Advocate Program, visit nutrientstewardship.com.